E beh ragazzi, bentornati in questo nuovo video su Spunto. Oggi siamo qui su Vampyr, raga, ancora su questo gioco che sembra davvero figo dopo le scorse puntate. E non lo so, dai, allora anche oggi non perdiamo tempo, buttiamoci subito in game. Ok, eccoci qua in game dopo aver fatto il siero nella scorsa puntata qua. Quindi qua serve dell'acqua. Ok. Vabbè, e usciamo. C'è un obiettivo a 11 metri sotto. Ok. Vediamo un po'. Allora, ci eravamo fermati che avevamo fatto il coso per dormire là. Non so se vi ricordate. E quindi adesso si vede che... Ah, questa ci serviva, raga. C'avevano degli indizi. Oh no. Non lo so. Scusate.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Servono degli indizi, qua no.
How would you describe the situation at Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Ok. Qui.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Buono.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Le malattie diminuiscono le quantità del sangue di un cittadino. Usa il farmaco giusto per guarirlo. Parla con il paziente nella stanza dietro a Dorothy per valutare il suo stato di salute. Parliamo con lui.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Allora, premi E per controllare lo stato di salute del cittadino. È un cittadino aumenta la quantità del sangue. Ti farà ottenere XP.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Farmaco per la stanchezza, perfetto.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
Good evening, sir.
Ok.
Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering
Nuovi indizi.
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Ok.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Ok,
Goodbye,
vabbè.
Mrs. Goswick.
Quindi con quella là dobbiamo parlarci già per 2 o 3 cose, perché ci avevano dato degli indizi. Lei chi è?
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
No, questa non è quella che cerchiamo, giusto? Dobbiamo andare quindi dal dottor... questo qua.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Ok. Ah, poi dobbiamo interrogare Winnet Bagan, quello lì, insomma. Ok.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Vediamo.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Eccolo. Indizio non riuscito però. Ok.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you
Arrivederci.
need assistance.
Ma il dottor Tippers in tutto questo era
Good
qui.
evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Ok. Via.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Va bene. Ora davvero andiamo dall'obiettivo. Eccoci qua.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Ok. Devo parlare con Harriet. Parliamo. Questo è un episodio, raga, dove dobbiamo parlare.
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Ok, devo andare qua. Ah, sarà questa?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Goodbye,
Okay.
nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Just a dozen years or so.
Ok, devo parlare con Hawkins. Che non so dove possa essere. Bah, andiamo di là poi sotto. Per attivare i tuoi sensi, se un cittadino si sta comportando in maniera sospetta, il suo cuore emetterà un bagliore particolare. Guardandolo sbloccherà un'indicazione speciale.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Ok, dobbiamo inseguirlo. Buono. Figo. Dai, vediamo un po'. Eccoci qua. No, di qua è chiusa perché è rosso. Perfetto.
I need to find another way to follow him.
Qua. Niente. Non è un buon rumore questo. Questa sembra un botto una boss fight, raga. Perché ha messo tutti questi barili che puoi rompere? Secondo me in mezzo c'è qualcosa in alcuni. Secondo me posso sbloccare la porta, vediamo. Buono. Ok, non posso prenderlo. Andiamo. No, no. Ok. Ah, comunque raga, ho visto cosa fa il siero quello con T, vedete quello che ci eravamo fatti. Praticamente ti cura 300 di vita e poi in 15 secondi 150. Ok. Qua avevo visto una cassa, infatti. Ah no, questa è una mazza. Ah, eccola qui la cassa. Vediamo un po' la mazza. 110. È molto lenta e spreca anche più energia. Però stordisce anche. Proviamola. E pari gli attacchi. Oppissimo. È enorme sto posto. Dove devo andare? Ok. Ah, ok, quindi con appunto per il coso per parare è come se usassi. Cioè questo sostituisce anche l'arma secondaria. Ecco, mettiamola così. In teoria. Vediamo. Vedi, secondaria c'è questa. Non puoi, perfetto. Ok, no, non c'è niente. Andiamo. Questa è un'area da boss fight, raga. Eccolo qua.
What sort of creature is this?
Ok, ok. Ma quindi stordisce anche con il tasto destro questa? Non serve usare il tasto. Cioè il tasto sinistro, scusate. Non serve usare il tasto destro. Beh, raga, è fortissima st'arma. Lui toglie un sacco quando ti colpisce. Davvero tanto. Sta mazza mi ha fatto proprio bene, raga, prenderla perché è davvero forte. Soprattutto contro questa bestia. Con l'altra non so se ce l'avremmo fatta. E poi stordisce una barra e mezzo, raga, questo. Troppissimo. No, raga, ho avuto il siero. Non ho fatto in tempo, non ci credo. Non ci credo. Dai. Eccolo qua. Morto.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
È normale ovunque tu sia. Dorotia per aiuto. Niente sorprese. Facciamo. Dovete trovare. Vabbè.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Ok, devo trovare l'infermiera Crane. Mamma mia, 2 colpi, raga. Fortissimo. Attenzione, il cittadino è a rischio. Potrebbe non sopravvivere la prossima notte. Vai a vedere come sta. Ok, mordiamo. Bam, distrutto. Morti. Ok, rompiamo tutto. Niente, vai.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Solo arrivederci, cioè. Hai salvato un cittadino, tornerà al suo quartiere la notte seguente. Ok. Ok, quindi usciamo. Raga, è interessante questo gioco, davvero interessante. Eccoci qua. Va bene. Qua perché è aperto? No. Sono tornato giù. Bene, ok. Mamma mia, raga, fortissima st'arma. Ok, eccoci a casa. Allora, io potenzierei qualcosa. Vediamo un po'. La mazza. Proverei perché è davvero forte. Non riusciamo purtroppo. Ne abbiamo 2 di parti per impugnatura normale. Ce ne serve un 6. Tantissimo. Quindi non possiamo. Invece no, però non potenziamo queste, perché stiamo usando questa che tiene 2. Quindi sarebbe inutile. E niente, allora dai, allora facciamo così, riposiamo e potenziandoci qualcosa, abbiamo 2000. Coagulazione, 2 secondi di controllo. Concentra il sangue della preda e lo bloccherà, rendendolo in difesa. È più facile uccidere una cosa che non si muove. Ok, oppure colpi assorbiti. Può assorbire i colpi addirittura. Autofagia invece più, cioè 200 di guarigione. Mm, 250 di guarigione. Facciamo questa, che è quella col tasso numero 1, raga, che ci cura. Così diventiamo molto più forti. Molla. E esegui una mossa soprannaturale verso il bersaglio e causi danni all'atterraggio. Ah! E il velo d'ombra cosa fa? Attiva. Ok. Esaurisci la tua energia per svanire nell'ombra e per essere invisibile alla maggior parte dei nemici. Muovendoti in questo stato consumerai più energia. Uscirai dalle ombre se attacchi o schivi o quando non hai più energia. Allora io proverei questo. Dai. Fa 20 di danni e basta, però proviamo. E dai, conferma e dormiamo. Dai. Ok, mi ha portato qua. Perfetto, va bene. Dai, direi che per oggi può essere tutto. E ci siamo divertiti, abbiamo parlato soprattutto, ma siamo anche entrati in azione uccidendo una bestia, raga, che non so cosa sia. Quindi ci vediamo alla prossima, un saluto, bella raga.